Hello and welcome to episode 156 of Ready to Mosh. I'm Kev P, and alongside me is the princess to my knight, it's Gem G.
Am I supposed to get that?
It's a Saxon song.
Oh, is
Princess
it?
of the Night, yeah.
Oh, of course. I was expecting a band reference on this one, but I just thought you'd go for a different band. But I suppose headliners
It's the headline that
are
it has to
appropriate.
be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the Stonedead Festival preview. And
Yes, this has come around even quicker than anything else. I feel it doesn't seem 2 minutes since we were at Stonedead last year. And we kind of got home and there's that person that puts on the Stonedead group. I think they do like a Friday countdown. And it was a lot of Fridays away. And now, as we record, it's 2 Fridays away.
Is it 2?
It's 2 weeks on Friday. Was it 3
It's
weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. It's not many Fridays away. And by the time this goes out, it'll be even nearer.
It will, yeah. We're recording this well in advance because we're trying to get everything done before we start Bloodstock and this.
Yeah, so we're recording this to be released on the Monday that we're driving home from Bloodstock.
Yeah.
Which I think is what we did for last year's Stonedead preview.
But yeah, we're well in advance. And Stonedead, it's the 23rd and 24th of August. Tickets have sold out. They sell out really quickly.
Quickest ever this year. It was before Christmas, I think. They sold, haven't they?
And they do have an official resale, don't they? For any that become available again.
Yeah, I don't know how long the waiting list, because I think there's like a waiting list you can go on and then it's all done very in-house. It's a very manual process, which is cool. But yeah, so by all means, if you're interested, have a look at the wait list, but
don't expect tickets.
Yeah, just be quick on it next year instead.
We've talked a lot about Stonedead before in previous episodes with various reviews, previews, and so we're not going to go into huge amounts of detail about the things that are at the event, like the size of the event, for instance.
Yeah, the basics we're not going to go into it, but the information is out there should you want to seek it out. But some changes have been put in place for this year, which we are going to run through.
Yeah, and I think we should start with the biggest change of all. We're doing press.
We are, yes.
For the first time at Stonedead.
Yeah, like you said, we've covered it twice before. Our first Stonedead was 2022. And I think we just did like a preview and a review episode.
We did, yeah.
That, and then last year we did the same again and we did a vlog. I don't think we vlogged 22, did we?
I don't think we did, no.
Pretty sure we didn't. And yeah, we're now officially covering it.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, it'll just be interesting to kind of see what that's like, because we've done it at other festivals, but it's always interesting that first time you go kind of the other side of the fence, as it were.
Yeah, definitely, to see what a different bit of campsite looks like.
Yeah, and yeah, just see what kind of things are there as well. And yeah, so that's like the biggest change for us, but the biggest changes for everybody else is a new car park and entrance for arena-only ticket holders. And that should make it easier and quicker for people who aren't camping to get in and out. And the entrance to the arena is going to be right next to the car park. And that's where all the shuttles and taxis are going to be.
Yeah, I think kind of if you look face on at the entrance, I think it used to be kind of to the right side, the day car park. And I believe from looking at the map, it's to the left side now. So I think it's a shorter walk for people just going for the Saturday. There's also a new camper van area. So there are going to be 2 camper van areas this year. And camper van 2 is going to be accessible for all camper van 2 pass holders. And will have its own toilets, including an accessibility toilet.
Yeah, one of the other things that I'm kind of glad they've done, really, there's bigger covered seating at the rear of the arena next to the bars and the food vendors now.
Yeah, I think that's something a lot of people fed back on last year. So in a similar way, I guess, kind of how Bloodstock do their feedback, they do take it on board and make changes where it's feasible, obviously. But last year, it did rain a lot on Friday night and also a bit on Saturday. So just having that cover there, whatever the weather, because obviously it's shade if it's sunny. So
yeah, it was horrific a couple of times last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, having to run for cover. So that's definitely going to be an improvement.
Another one is a bigger second bar. But I couldn't get that into my head. Like what is classed as the second bar?
I think it's over the other side. We normally, as you look at the stage, are to the
right. We go to the
right-hand
side bar.
Just live down that side. We go to that bar. We tend to go to those food vendors. We tend to stand that side. for the stage. So I think it's over the other side.
I can't remember seeing one last year over there.
I don't think we wandered over that way as much last year. We did in our first year because I remember kind of exploring everywhere. Not that it's a huge site anyway.
No.
We're just being lazy.
Yeah.
But we did go to the side for food as well. Actually, shall we just have a quick look at the map?
That's a good idea.
Because we have got the map to hand. Now I'm thinking about it, yeah, it's as you look at the stage to the left. And then on kind of the back row is the Mercia tent.
Yeah, so I knew where that one was.
Yeah, and that's also going to have covered seating and some special guests appearing throughout the event, which we have no inside knowledge of, so we're excited to see who that will be as well.
Yeah, and there's going to be more food vendors with more types of food, including, good news for you, veggie and vegan stuff.
Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, there were veggie options last year.
I mean, you did order a pizza one year and got back.
That was last year. I ordered a garlic pizza and got back to... I didn't even open it until we got back to the tent. So if I have pizza this year, I'm opening it before we move.
Yeah, but can you move all the pepperoni onto my pizza first?
So you don't know what happened there. Obviously, they got the numbers mixed up for the order. But yeah, be excited to see what other choices of food. I don't think they've released the vendor list yet.
I've not seen it yet.
I've had a look around because that's the sort of thing I would do. And the only thing I've seen confirmed off the top of my head, actually two things. I think I've seen the Rock and Roll Toasty Company, or that might not be the right name for them, but they're the kind of rock and roll toasty people that were at Download that we didn't get to go to. And they've got like band themed toasters.
I will be going there.
I love a toasty, so yeah, I'm up for that definitely. And I'm sure there's some kind of bunny chow, not Bunny Man's bunny chow, but I'm sure I've seen somewhere a post about some form of bunny chow, which could be good. Hello, this is Future Gem. Quick update to say that since we recorded the episode, the food vendors have now been released, so you can go onto the Stonedead Facebook group, have a look at them, and see what culinary delights you can find there this year. And the signing tent will be back again this year?
Yeah, that's going back to its normal place next to the merch. I think that was a bit of an issue last year, wasn't it? People queuing up and people trying to get down to the side to watch bands.
Yeah, I've got a vague recollection of that, but...
And I think it was a mixture of that and the food stuff. It just caused a bit of confusion.
But yeah, I don't think, as we speak, anything's been announced in terms of times or who'll be in the signing tent, but you do tend to get a lot of the main stage acts or the only stage acts throughout the day. So keep an eye on the times, obviously, and recommend queuing up early if there's someone in particular you want to get a signing off of. Yeah,
the merch would have been available to pre-order. We've already pre-ordered ours.
We got in there just in time.
Yeah, so we've both got a t-shirt and we got a cup as well, didn't we?
Yeah, the pint pop with the line-up on. So I believe that pre-orders for merch close on the 31st of July. So obviously that's been and gone. But yeah, keep an eye on the socials just in case it gets extended. But obviously they need to cut it off at some point to get supplies in. You will still be able to buy your merch on the day, but obviously maybe disappointed if your sign's not available.
And then one of the things that they do at Stonedead, which is, I think it's really cool, they support a lot of charities, one of which they do a food bank. And so they're asking everybody to, if you can, to bring whatever you have that you can donate. And things like toiletries as well. So just whatever is unused or anything you can donate to bring.
Yeah, so we'll probably have a look about and see if we can get bags together that we can drop off, because I'm sure we'll have room in the car for it.
I would have thought so. And some of the charities they're supporting this year are the Royal British Legion and Andy's Man Club. So they've been kind of connected to Stonedead for quite a while now.
Yeah, they're pretty much kind of staples of the festival, really, aren't they?
Yeah. And they're also going to be doing things for the Make-A-Wish Foundation and Team Endeavour that we're working with for the first time this year.
And just going back to things that you can pre-order, again, I'm not sure if this will still be available when the episode goes out, but there are, or were, some pre-ordered beer available as well. So there is the Motorhead beer, which is, again, pretty much a staple of the festival.
It's kind of synonymous with it, isn't it?
So there's a new one this year, the To Hell and Back IPA, alongside the kind of traditional Road Crew and Overkill Pilsner. And then you can collect those on the campsite the weekend. But even if you don't pre-order, beer prices are really reasonable. You can also take up to 4 cans or an equivalent of other alcohol into the arena with you anyway.
Yeah, it's good because not a lot of festivals do that, and a lot of they do that.
Yeah, so obviously don't take the pickle with that and still buy some in the arena as well, which we always do.
Yeah, it's what we always do. I think I normally take like a couple of cans and then...
Yeah, a couple Friday, couple Saturday.
Yeah, a couple Friday, couple Saturday, and then just drink in the arena.
Because I think it's like £4.55 a pint.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
The festival prices, and it's nice stuff to drink as well. They've got a good range of ciders, haven't they, last year? Obviously, various meads and other kind of spirits on the Mercia stall. So, yeah, there's lots to choose from. Right, let's move on and talk about some bands then. Starting with Friday night. So, if you're not familiar with the Stonedead setup, it's basically a one-day festival on the Saturday, but they have a party on the Friday night, which is automatically included if you have a camping ticket, or you can purchase kind of an upgrade ticket if you're not camping and you just live nearby, you're staying nearby in a hotel, etc. So you can join in the fun as well. And the first band opening up the Friday night party are Scarlet Rebels. These are a 5-piece band from South Wales who released their first album, Show Your Colours, in 2019. One of those that I've heard about for a while and I feel like I should have seen.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. Because I had to check with you earlier. I actually came to you and said, have you seen these?
No,
they
we
just
haven't.
Said, no, but I feel like I should have done. And that's what I mean. And so I got confused by that. But I thought we'd seen them before, but we haven't.
Any regular listeners will know that we often say there are bands out there that we should have seen and we don't know how. We feel like we've seen and we haven't. But anyway, we haven't seen Scarlet Rebels yet. But yeah,
we will Friday.
We will, yes. Yeah, I've listened to them quite a bit over the last few days and yeah, quite liking them.
Yeah, same, quite bluesy.
Yeah.
And there is kind of some big musical connections as well within the group. So one of the guitarists is the son of Simon Townsend and nephew of Pete Townsend from The Who. So that's quite an understandable sort of influence, I suppose, in places, especially like some of their bigger songs as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're also signed to Earache Records, as are quite a few other bands that we're big fans of.
Yeah.
And their second album, Seeds of the Blue, actually debuted at number 7 in the UK Top 40, which is
it just does
that go in.
Very good for a debut album. That's incredible.
Yeah, and obviously we've seen similar things from some other Earache bands in recent years, not least Massive Wagons and Skindred.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much. Looking forward to setting the party up with them.
Then following Scarlet Rebels is a kind of heavyweight of the metal scene, I think it's fair to say.
A legend, if you will.
Yeah, and that's Paul Di'Anno. And I'm sure everybody's familiar with Paul Di'Anno, but he is a former Iron Maiden vocalist. He was lead singer from 78 to 81, kind of in between Bruce periods.
Yeah, and I guess he's one of those people that I just never thought I would see live. I know he has been obviously out and about touring pretty regularly over the last few years, but he's also had a lot of health issues as well. So
yeah, I thought the same. I didn't think I'd get to see him, but
no, I was kind of surprised when he was announced. Really?
Yeah, I remember when it got announced, and we looked at each other and went, "Oh, didn't think that had happened." But yeah, he seems to be making quite a strong return, and seems to be kind of getting better.
Yeah, I mean, latest album, the current kind of band that he's doing with it is Paul Di'Anno's Warhorse Band, and they released their latest album in July this year. And I listened to a couple of tracks off it earlier. It's sounding quite good. And then headlining the Friday night party are another kind of classic legend UK English rock band, the Choir Boys, who I'm not sure, did we see them at Download once?
We did.
I feel like we did.
I think it was 2012.
I was going to say 2012.
Yeah, we have seen the Choir Boys before.
And I feel like I might have seen them maybe somewhere late 90s, early noughties. I don't know. Maybe I have, maybe I've not. Like I say, classic band, formed in 1984 in London, but with strong ties to Newcastle. I always think of them as a Newcastle band. And I think the links to the Wild Hearts and Ginger, that's why I always feel like they're a Geordie band. But yeah, they've, as many people probably know, they've had a bit of a tumultuous past. They've kind of split up, got together.
Reformed in different ways.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a mishmash.
It is. If you read their biography anywhere, it's quite lengthy, just the toings and throwings of people.
Yeah, I don't know who is going to be in this incarnation of the band, really. I'm going to have to look into that. But one who won't be is Guy Bailey, because he passed away last year.
Yeah, he did, and they were kind of in a bit of a reformed period during that time as well, weren't they? But they have obviously decided to continue. They've been touring already this year, and they've got Luke Morley from Thunder performing kind of in Guy's place.
Yeah.
Obviously, Thunder on a bit of a downtime at the moment anyway, due to Danny's injury. So, yeah, they've had some new stuff released, so it'll be good just to see what that's like live now.
Yeah, I bet they steal the show Friday night. I know they're the headliner, but, because the expectation's not there, because it feels like it's...
Yeah.
Like, we've not seen them for 12 years. And so that expectation's not going to be massive, because obviously, they've got a lot older, as we all have. But I feel like they could be kind of like one of the bands of the weekend.
Could well be. Let's hope the weather holds up better on Friday this year. We don't have to stop proceedings like we did last year. I just remember hiding in the tent because it was such a downpour.
It was torrential, wasn't it? And then after all that's done, there's the Planet Rock party from 10 till 11. If you've got a camping ticket, your after party ticket's included. And if you've got an arena only ticket, you do need a Friday party ticket.
Yeah. So that includes your after party bit and all your bands beforehand. So yeah, wait until the review to find out if we make it for that this year. I think we did a little bit last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did get quite tipsy on the Friday, which I am holding the weather fully responsible for.
Yes.
Because we were stuck in the tent and all we could do was drink. Because obviously if it hadn't rained, we wouldn't have been drinking. Before we talk about the bands of Saturday then, we obviously need to give a mention to the compere for the day, and that is the legend that is Crusher.
And for those easily offended, don't listen to Crusher.
Yes, don't pay any attention when he's on stage.
There are so many complaints every year about the amount of bad language that he uses, but I love Crusher.
I think most people do. Really.
I think we do, yeah.
There will be Fs, there'll be Jeffs.
And everything in between.
But you wouldn't expect any less from him, would you?
God, no.
It's just what he does.
He's a superstar.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully we'll catch him at Bloodstock as well, but he's definitely...
We're definitely going to see him at Stonedead.
Yeah, it just makes the day, really. You can't imagine it without him, really, can you now?
No. So kicking off Saturday morning then, the first band up is the public's vote, isn't it?
It is, yeah. The public shortlist the poll, don't they? And then kind of a group of the Stonedead volunteers actually pick from, I think it's the final 10.
Yeah. So the polls are open, I think it's all through Facebook.
Yes, and there's a link to go and vote in each round.
Yeah. So in each round, there's a selection of bands, and essentially it all gets whittled down to around 10 bands, and these are all voted for by the public. And then when it gets to the final 10, I think it's the volunteers at Stonedead.
Yeah, or a group of the volunteers kind of do their own vote to see who comes out on top.
And this year, the vote went to the Hot 1-2, who I have heard the name of, but wasn't familiar with the music.
Another one of those. Yeah, and they've been around quite a few years, really, haven't they? I think.
Yeah. Wow. 7-8 years?
Yeah, I think so. I think debut EP was released in 2019.
Yeah, would have been, yeah.
And then, obviously, we all know what happened for a few years, but while those years were going on, Hot 1-2 did obviously carry on working through it. They wrote and self-produced their 2022 EP, Unrestrained, and got that ready for release. Yeah, they didn't rest on their laurels, as it were. Yeah,
they played quite a few festivals. So they played like Call of the Wild, Hard Rock Hell. And yeah, they've got a classic rock sound. You can see why they won the poll for the people that generally go to Stonedead.
Yeah, I think they're definitely a fitting pick for the opening slots.
Yeah, so there's a lot of consistency in their lineups and the kind of music that gets played there.
Following them are a band that we've been a fan of for quite some time, and we said this in our Bloodstock preview because they also played at Bloodstock, or will be playing at Bloodstock as we're speaking. This is confusing, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. And that is Tail Gunner. We recommended them as our Ready to Mosh recommendation in December 2022.
We were on the ball with that again.
Yeah, because they didn't really start as a band till 2022. So
yeah, we'd heard some of their stuff and really liked it, recommended them.
And they've just kind of exploded really onto the scene. They've done think 2 UK headline tours now. There's some sold out shows in there. They were handpicked by KK Downing, who we'll talk about later on, to open for KK's Priest before their debut album had even been released. And then they went on to release that debut album in July last year, Guns for Hire, which, again, just exploded, really, didn't it?
Yeah, it went absolutely crazy. I'm sure I was looking at their Instagram a while ago and they'd been on a European tour as well.
Yeah, I think they have now.
Yeah, so like Jem said, by the time you're listening to this, we will have seen them.
For the first
time at Bloodstock.
But as we speak, we haven't yet seen them.
Yeah. And then by the time Stonedead's finished, we will have seen them twice.
Yes. If you followed that, well done. I think basically what we're trying to say is we're big fans of Tailgunner. We've never seen them live at the moment, but we will do soon. And if you're a fan of kind of classic Maiden, Judas Priest, Sabbath, Motorhead, all those things merged into one, then
you'll love these.
Go and see them too.
Then after Tailgunner, it's the Bites, who I wasn't familiar with. And they've not been around a long time. And it was pretty much a one-man project, I believe.
Yeah, I think so, from what I've been reading about them. But yeah, to be honest, I'd not heard of them before till they got announced on the Stonedead lineup.
Yeah, and this all came out from Jordan, who's the frontman. It came out of doing his own TikTok and just amassed a couple of million views on there. So then decided to kind of get a full band together.
Yeah, so goes to show that some good things can be on TikTok.
And yeah, I think, again, you can see why these have been chosen for Stonedead. They've got quite a Motley Crue sort of sound, that kind of almost sleazy kind of 80s metal to it.
Yeah, that sleazy kind of rock and roll, but with kind of hints of 70s. Like I get hints of kind of Greta Van Fleet from some of their stuff, and it's a bit bluesy at times, as well as having that kind of sleazy undertone to it.
Yeah, so it'll be first time watching these as well. So this will be interesting.
And next up, we've got a festival exclusive for Stonedead, and that is Bonafide from Sweden, who are another band I'm not overly familiar with at this point, but yeah, they've been around almost 20 years now.
Yeah, I find it unusual that we weren't familiar with them, to be honest.
Especially me and my love of Swedish bands.
Yes, that's true, yeah.
How have I missed this one? But yeah, I think debut album was released in 2007, and they are 7 albums deep now. Their latest, Are You Listening, released last year.
Yeah, very bluesy. I really like them. I was listening to them a lot over the last couple of days, and yeah, I've really been enjoying what they've put out. So I am looking forward to seeing these. Yeah,
I'm kind of hoping that it's a nice, dry, warm day. Maybe have a sit down on the grass at this point and just, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of an early afternoon lull. Not a lull as such, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a
reset.
Yeah. Maybe have a bit of food.
Yeah, and they've played with some big bands as well. So they've played with like Deep Purple, Europe, Choir Boys. You know, there's some big names there. And I do find it odd that we weren't familiar with them.
Yeah, who knows why.
Mind blown. And sticking with Swedish bands, the next band up are Eclipse. They're from Stockholm. They've been around 20, 25 years. So they've got a whole kind of breadth of back catalogue stuff to get through.
And another one that I don't know how I've not come across them before, again, because they're Swedish and they're kind of that hard rock, bit of sleaze in there. Very similar, not just because they're Swedish, to Backyard Babies.
Yeah, they are the kind of band that I'm surprised you're not familiar with. It sounds like the thing that's right up your street.
It does, yeah. Who knows why? Although from kind of reading a bit about the background and stuff, I don't think they really kind of took off massively till around about 2019 when they released Viva La Victoria.
Yeah.
Which apparently went huge. But even then, I don't know how that didn't cross my ears before now. Because that is a really catchy track.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of their stuff has not necessarily been kind of UK focused, though.
That's what I am thinking, you know, with what I was reading about them.
I feel like there's been a lot through Europe and through Asia, but not so much in the UK. For whatever reason, maybe it just never kind of clicked here.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, another band that would be interesting to see for the first time.
And just kind of looking through some of the tours that they've done in the kind of last couple of years or so as well. I think they've played with Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Hollywood Vampires, Powerwolf. Yeah,
it's like it's like a perfect day thing for you, isn't it? That?
But just not in the UK, unfortunately. So hence me not finding them before. One thing we've not actually mentioned, just before we move on to the next act, is at some point during the afternoon, obviously Stonedead regulars will know this, but there will probably be a flyover of some description. I don't think it's been confirmed yet, but I'm pretty sure, has it happened for every Stonedead?
Every Stonedead, I think, yeah.
Everyone that we've been to so far, there's been a Lancaster bomber flying over, probably around 2:00 in the afternoon, I think.
And boy, does it get loud.
Yeah. And
It gets
loud.
very loud, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that is a sight to behold, shall we say.
It is, yeah.
Took me by surprise last year, even though...
Yeah, we just forgot about it.
I think we were back... Every time it's happened so far, actually, we've been back at the tent. It must be that kind of mid-afternoon...
gap.
Nip back for, I don't know, maybe a snack or something.
Yeah. I feel like it must be a changeover of bands.
It probably is, actually, yeah. I think there was someone on stage last year when they were on, but I think we had just nipped back. So although it's obviously one stage and you do get a gap between, sometimes you nip back to the tent, sometimes ends up a bit longer because you want to sit down.
Yeah. Yeah, you just want to sit in your camping chair and just go, oh, especially if it's nice and warm.
Yeah. Anyway, next up is a legend, I think we can safely say, of the metal scene, and that is Doro. Obviously former lead singer of Warlock, way back from about early 80s, 1983, 4.
Yeah, would have been around there.
Their debut album was released, and I think she was with them for their first 4 albums.
Sounds right, yeah.
Yeah, something along those lines. And she was the first female to perform at Monsters of Rock back in the day at Donington.
Yeah.
Which I think obviously gives her iconic status just from that.
Yeah, and as Stonedead was kind of born out of Monsters of Rock, you feel like it was only a matter of time, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's very fitting that she's on the lineup this year.
Yeah, and she's put so much stuff out and performed over 3,000 concerts in more than 60 countries.
That's some good going. Just say she's just been consistent since she began, really.
Yeah, that is an effort. There aren't many people that are going to be able to match that.
No, definitely not. And she is still putting music out there, new music. Like some people that have been out there performing for a long time, they just go down the touring route, don't they, these days?
Yeah, almost like a greatest hits of like 1 or 2 albums.
Yeah, but no, I mean, the last album was Conquerors, Forever Strong and Proud, and that was released in October last year. So
yeah.
It's going to be a huge back catalogue to pick from for this set, definitely. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing Legend in real life.
Yeah. Then next up, one of the bands that will be a highlight for me because I've been a fan since I was like 13.
Many years
ago.
Many years ago.
And that is Ugly Kid Joe, who we've seen, I can't even remember how many times now.
I think it must be 4.
It's got to be at least. All at different festivals, I think.
And Rock City, we saw them last year.
Oh, we did see them at Rock City, yeah.
No, it wasn't last year, it was the year before, when the joint headline
did
with
the joint thing with Wagons, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for this because I do feel like a little kid every time I watch Ugly Kid Joe. And yeah, their last album as well, Rad Wings of Destiny, was amazing. And it just made me feel like being a kid again.
Yeah, I'm really excited about these as well, even though we've seen them that many times before. They're just such a good fun band. Like when we saw them at Bloodstock last year as well, in many ways, they didn't really kind of fit on that lineup as such, but at the same time they did, and they were just perfect.
Yeah. And a lot of people went away from the weekend and said that they were one of the highlights for them. Because people weren't necessarily expecting them to be that good. They obviously knew the name, but didn't really know much else.
Or that one song that we all know.
That one song, yeah. And yeah, they absolutely nailed Bloodstock last year. And I have no doubt at all they'll absolutely hammer it this year as well.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited for this.
We'll move on from Ugly Kid Joe because we could happily sit and talk for hours about them.
Yeah, we could just do a whole episode.
Yeah.
But we'll move on to the sub-headliner, and that is KK's Priest, who we haven't actually seen in KK's Priest format. I still can't remember where I saw Judas Priest. I just know I've seen them, so I have actually seen KK himself somewhere.
Yeah, sadly we missed them at Bloodstock last year.
Yeah, they were pulled in kind of last minute to replace Halloween, weren't they?
They were, yeah.
But we were watching Zeal and Ardor instead.
And I mean, what can you say about KK's Priest? It's, they're just iconic. And yeah, KK Danning just kind of owned guitar, if you know what I mean, through that period. It's just an iconic sound, and you know everybody's going to absolutely love this.
Yeah, so it's a weird one as well, because obviously he's been around for so long with Judas Priest, and then at this point in his career, just kind of turn it around and now be releasing basically the debut album was 3 years ago, I think, for KK's Priest as they are now.
Yeah. And then second album was out last year.
Yes.
Cinema Rides Again. And yeah, it's going to be very loud and just, I think it's just going to be an epic sort of like lesson for people on kind of like how to work a crowd and the stage and just absolutely boss it.
Yeah.
And then finally, moving on to the headliner, a band that started the year that I was born.
They're that old?
Yes, they are.
Didn't realise that.
Yeah, they started in 1977, and I don't know how they've still got the energy to perform.
Yeah.
After all this time.
I know, and they're, again, one of these acts that have just been really consistent ever since they started, or at least Biff Byford has, kind of last remaining original member standing, so as it were.
Yeah, and just to kind of put it into context, like we said how long they'd been around, they'd made 26 albums.
You just can't imagine, can you?
My brain can't compute that.
No, like work out a set list from that.
You could play one song off each one and still have too big a set list.
Exactly, that's what the words I was trying to formulate were that basically. Yeah, you'd still leave things out. And again, another band that are still putting out new stuff.
Yeah, and 8 top 40 UK albums, 4 top 10 albums, 2 top 5 albums. I mean, that's a catalogue, isn't it?
That's a CV, isn't it, of a back catalogue?
Yeah.
Achievements. And bands that I don't think we have seen before. I'm pretty sure.
No, I don't think I have.
I feel like they have been at Download when we've been there, but I don't know. I wouldn't have watched them if they were. But how have we not seen them before?
I really don't know. I really, really don't know.
We say it often, but in this case, I really don't know.
Yeah, there will be no excuse from us to miss these. So I am really looking forward to it and just see kind of how they sound after all these years. Listening to them for such a long time as well. Like when I first got into metal, I was listening to things like Saxon.
Yeah. And yeah, they say they're still going strong, aren't they? Like even this year they were touring with Judas Priest and Uriah Heep on their tour. So it's not like this is a one-off kind of
they're still knocking things out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, they've even managed to do a couple of covers albums within that list.
Yeah. Like, just have a rest for a bit.
Yeah, chill out, guys. It's fine. But no, I think they just kind of live for it, don't they?
Yeah. Which is great, and if they can still put the performances on, because there's nothing worse than a band keep kind of trogging on and they're just not what they used to be. But that's definitely not going to be the case for Saxon, is it?
No, I mean, well, if they're touring with Priest and Uriah Heep, then I think we're going to be in good hands.
Yeah, I think that'll be very well chosen headliner. So yeah, that's kind of a whistle-stop tour of what to expect from Stonedead 2024. We're really looking forward to it. If you're going and you see us there, then come and say hello. If you're not going and you want to catch up with what we're up to while we're there, you can find us on our socials, which are Ready to Moshcast on Instagram, Twitter, or X, still keep saying it wrong, and Threads. And we're Ready to Mosh on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. We do now have a Patreon, which is just £3 a month. And for that, you get to listen to episodes 24 hours in advance of everyone else wherever possible. You get to hear all the bloopers that don't make it into the show. And you get to find out what's coming up for the next month before anyone else as well. If you'd like to support the podcast for free, you can do that by giving us a 5-star rating on wherever you're listening to us. Leave a lovely review and just share us about and tell people to listen to us. And we'll be back again soon with another episode. Wheels of Steel move.